World of Tank Blitzers, it's a Littlefinger. Hey, following closely on the heels of the Tiger full tank review, I got a special request here for the E75. This is a great tank, so I thought, why not? Let's jump in it, play a few games, and put together some semblance of a review. As you know, talking about the tech tree, this is a wonderful line of tanks. There's really not a bad tank here. So I say that this is a must-own, must-play tank line. This is obviously tier 9. And what I love about this tank is the frontal armor. We'll get to that in a second. The mobility is decent, and the gun is also very good. So it plays quite nicely. One of the things that I recommend is you getting enough free EXP to go ahead and get the turret and the top gun here. One thing to note, the armor profile going from this top tier 9 turret, 185 down to 185 here from 252. So you really need this top turret before you jump into the game. I would say free EXP these two and then battle your way, get the experience points playing the tank for the engine and tracks. Consumables straight up same for me: repair, multi-purpose, and adrenaline. A little different on the provisions as I'm running standard fuel, improved fuel, and chocolate. Just running that to get basically this additional hull turn rate and turret turn rate, which you don't get with the chocolate bar. Running 22, 8, and 6 with making sure we buy that with silver, of course. And then the equipment, we've got calibrated shells, defense system, improved optics, enhanced gun lane drive, enhanced armor. Now this is one of those things, when I have a heavily armored tank, I go with enhanced armor. If we got a tank with no armor, I definitely go with improved assembly, and then it's really up to you in between. So this is a heavily armored tank. Let's go with the enhanced armor, going with engine accelerator. I've been running this with the vertical stabilizer, quite honestly. It's really up to your playstyle and what you like. Obviously, this prevents the gun from bouncing when you're moving, making that aiming a little bit easier. If you are completely stationary, you're better off with the refined gun, enhanced tracks, and consumable delivery system. Alright guys, so here's BlitzStars.com, and we're comparing the E75 to the rest of the Tier 9 non-premium tanks, and as you can see, 2100 damage per minute without any equipment. Of course, I run it with the calibrated shells here, because you'll see our pen at 246 is about 5% below some of these other tanks. So that gets us in the range of those other tanks. 460 average alpha. Your dispersion here is not great, but it's in line with the other heavy tanks at 0.344, aim time 2.6, 8 degrees of gun depression. Top speed 40 kilometers per hour, which is a nice thing. If you look at these other heavy tanks, you just don't have that. This is my main complaint about the Maushin 25. That's so bad. So horsepower 10.8 per ton. It moves pretty well for a heavy tank. The other thing that I did want to point out here, your turret armor at 252 compared to these other tanks. It's wonderful. It's the same as the VK. I love the VK as well. Hull armor at 160 is lacking a little bit, but once you get outside the Maushin and M103, you're in line with the rest of these tanks, so it is certainly a playable tank from that regard. So the most important thing about knowing how to play this tank is understanding the armor profile. Here I've got the tank pulled up against an IS-3, a tier 8 heavy, so a tier down. You're always going to have this cupola as a weak spot. Nothing you can do about that other than, try to, if you want, get hull down on a little bit of a hill. Makes it a little bit smaller of a target. But what you want to work on is rotating this tank to about 23 degrees here. Even if that IS-3 is running calibrated shells, you can get most of this into the red. Um, However, the big thing I want to talk about is if you get distracted and you start turning this turret, look what happens. You get a ginormous pennable area on this tank. So you have to be extremely careful where you are aiming so that you don't get any crossfire into this side of the turret. So let's just jump on up to, let's say, an IS-8. And now you can see that, yeah, you're going to start getting penned through this very small front plate, as well as the lower plate there. There's really nothing you can do except for over angle, which then obviously um, exposes your side. It is a good side scraping tank, and I'll show you that in battle. And if we get up to, say, an IS-7, there's really nothing you can do to be completely unpennable. But those are very small areas if you know how to keep the rest hidden. Alright guys, here is my first battle. As you can see, we are bottom tier here on Desert Sands, and this is not a bad map for this tank if you go town. As I said, this is a decent side scraping tank. It's not great, but it certainly handles the job. And let's take a look at their lineup. The 183 might be sitting in the back there. IS-7, Mouse. They got another E75, and those are who I would expect to be on the heavy side. So we'll see how this plays out. I'm going out wide and going to set up behind this building. Get position before we pull out. We are doing this slowly, side scraping through here, and did not expect to find that IS-7 there. And you can see he shot just as we were pulling forward, which made him miss that shot. So we get the first one to go. Love the alpha on this tank at 460. Wish this Mouse here, would maybe have a little better understanding of the team around him, and we get a nice big 575 roll there, because he was out there blocking myself and the AMX behind. So we're going to drop adrenaline here and make sure we get a low roll there on the Mouse. Not what you want with all of those damn hit points. So I see them pushing around the IS-7 and the Mouse onto our Mouse. So I'm trying to get some shots in here. That probably could have aimed a little bit better and aimed a little lower. That shot went a little high, and we did not get any damage from it. So having to switch over to APCR on the Mouse, but that's okay. We can pen him from the front, and that's really all that matters. Again, back to the APCR. Make sure we get the shot to go in, and there we go. There's our nice little bounce. And as you can see, I am not turning my turret to any of these tanks. We're keeping them at bay by side scraping. IS-7's pull for it. Alright, the 183 is coming in. Luckily we get that in the track. That's going to slow them down. And the IS-7 and the E75 are going to push on us now. Just checking to my side, but now we got to make sure that our turret stays forward and see if we can't induce a bounce. There it is. That one did go through the front of our turret. We're going to drop adrenaline a second time here and pick up the shots on the E75. He goes down. Only 2 tanks left. Really doesn't matter for me at this point in time. Just stay far enough back that we can get a shot to pen, get the kill, almost 4K and damage. So you see how nicely this tank lines up if you can get into a little bit of a side scraping position and just, maximize those high rolls there, 460 plus. You can see we ended up being top damage on this team. 9 shots to go in, 2 non-penetrating shots out of the 5 that we took. Alright, so I'm going to jump in here to the second battle, and I was top tier here on New Bay. Interesting little battle because, I really like the idea in this tank, and especially with our lineup, particularly, you know, the Sheriff, the VK, even the WZ would benefit, in my opinion, coming on over here to C and getting in this little park area with all of the hills. So we'll get in here and we'll cap C first. What you'll quickly see happens is that they push hard. They've got the T95 on the other side, which I really honestly didn't account for. That is a key, guys, to successfully, you know, knowing which way to go. Take a look at the opposing lineup, and you know, so I'm thinking it's just a couple tanks down here. Can I extend and get a shot into the T32? No, we've taken a huge shot there. I think it was from that T95, and the AMX bounced us. So now I can see what's happening. This T32 is pushing around, and the medium tank, the Sheriff that was with me, has departed, leaving me here with the SU. So we're going to back up and buy ourselves some time. And unfortunately, shoot the tracks and not do any damage on the Emil. He bounces the first one. I'm wiggling. I'm making it difficult for him to get a shot into that small upper turret. But he gets the second one in there, putting us down to 1,000 hit points left. You know, so now it's just me and this SU. And I'm looking to back up. Blocked him here and shot the T92. And this guy's going to complain that I didn't help him. I see the T95 coming, so I know I have to push. It is 4 on 2 at this point. I can't reload in time on the T92, so I'm thinking my only option here is to push the IS-3. And I'm getting a no help from the SU-100. Just, I don't know what he wanted me to do. We had 4 tanks on 2. Report the E75. Can I just get one more shot in here? Yeah. So you can see we end up doing 2,800 damage, and we did block a substantial amount of shots. This game gets pretty close. So we've got the VK here and the Sheriff that for whatever reason abandoned me. And all I'm telling them is just stay alive, and we're gonna win this. We've got 2 caps to 1. And the Sheriff gets blasted there, and he thinks he's gonna be able to outrun him. Watch what the VK is gonna do. VK is gonna come straight into the line of sight. That's the last thing you need to do. Just hide. Stay away. We've got 2 caps. Yeah, there goes the VK, and I can just see it now. You know, the Sheriff just completely blowing this. But he manages here to go ahead and steal the cap, and I'm thinking he is not going to be able to get away. 980, 995, and sure enough, there goes the SU going easy. What an a-hole. I hate people like that. But anyway, 2,800 damage. Good for second on the team. The object carried this game. He was up on the bridge and just mowed everyone down after I died. So again, you know, a solid game. We blocked 6 shots. So I love the armor on this tank. So moving into the last game I'm going to show, yeah, you do get bottom tiered quite a bit. That is tier 9 in a nutshell. Here on a Dead Rail, they've got 3 TDs on a map that is one of the few set up for TDs. This is a very passive map. You cannot be overly aggressive. But I do like to try to kind of set a front, so to speak, you know, get some early spots and keep my TDs protected. And that, if you can do that, and if you can stay alive, that seems to work out very well on this map. So I like to come up here to this rock. We've got the VK. This thing is nothing but red. And how about that shot? I believe that must have been the 182 shooting me in the friggin' cupola. A great way to start your battle, dropping 900 off the bat. Yeah. So we've got the Foch over there at B. We've already taken C. I've got a Waffentrager behind me, and the other TD, and I guess that's the IS-4 in the back corner. I am backing up here to try to side scrape against that Patton when the Waffentrager comes in and blows me a second big old hole in my tank. A little bit fortunate there that the meal misses. But again, just trying to hold onto this corner. Here comes the Foch with all of that wonderful armor, except he blows the shot. We'll steal that kill, thank you. And we're just keeping a swivel on, making sure that that VK, and that was the biggest thing. VK was, I think, a straight player. I would have expected him probably to have maybe pushed on us there, but he did not. So that is fine with me. Now I just have to play a little bit more passively than I would like in a heavy tank with all of this armor. Just because I am very low on hit points. And here you go, you get an idea. The VK showing the side of the turret. That would be the same as the E75 turret. You just can't get away with it. It's going to be a pen every time. And now we're down to 3 tanks. Not sure where the object is. Trying to make sure we stop in time. Look at that, 12:25. And here comes the object 268. Gets a big shot into us there. And we'll get one more, track him. He repairs it. I'm trying to angle it around the dead Hori. But now it's like nothing I can do. And look at that. There's that lovely bounce. Max roll, kill shot. You know, puts us at 2.9k damage, 2 kills. VK has, I don't know why he didn't, why he's up there with full health in a game where you lose by cap points. But again, you know, we took some big shots early. We were able to use our armor late in the battle there and pulled out another level 1 with that effort. 1194 in XP. In EXP, I'll look at that here in a second. We only bounced 1 shot, but I just want to see if, so we've got all of this damage from spotting here, which really helped out our EXP in the game. So guys, hopefully that gives you a few clues on playing the tank a little bit stronger, better, however you want to say it. It's really about angling that armor and being aware that you're not getting shot in the side of that turret. Alright guys, so have fun out there, and remember, get educated, not fingered. Littlefinger out.